G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is supposed to be a Gatling laser, but apparently it's just air. This is a Gatling laser, and here's a question for all of you. Do you remember how good Gatling lasers were? Just think about that for a second. If you've ever played Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 3 and used a Gatling laser, Vengeance in Fallout 3 of course, or perhaps the Precision Gatling laser from the Broken Steel DLC. And perhaps you've used this thing in New Vegas. It's got a mod system now. I've got focus optics, which increase my damage per projectile by 3, which is great for the DPS of this thing. And we've also got carbon fiber parts, which gives it this nice carbon fiber look on its frame, which is awesome. But we've also got ammo types for this thing, which we'll get to in a second. But here's a quick history lesson for those of you who don't know. Gatling lasers in Fallout 3 and New Vegas kick ass. You think about your strongest Gatling laser you've ever used in Fallout 76 or perhaps Fallout 4. It doesn't come close to the amount of power these things gave you back in the good old days of Fallout New Vegas and 3. It's really something to behold. And just to give you an idea of what the numbers are, we've got the max charge, which gives an extra 50% damage, 21 per projectile, per bullet, per laser, I suppose, and totaling out to just under 630 DPS. To put that in perspective, your average Deathclaw adult has about 500 health. So we can expect to kill one of those things in less than a second. And we could probably do it even faster should we roll criticals. More on that later. But the ammo type that I've got loaded in, like I mentioned before, is max charge. So that'll increase our damage by 50%, of course, but also reduce our target's damage threshold by 10. Now, I believe the standard adult Deathclaw's damage threshold sits at 15, so that's going to be deducted till just 5, and then the young Deathclaws, I think, cap out at 10 damage threshold, so they'll have no armor against this thing. Any bigger Deathclaws, you know, taking out 2/3 of their damage threshold is going to be extremely strong when using this thing, and believe you me, this is worth the 12,000 caps that you'd pay for it in prime condition, even though I just got this from a corpse and then just fixed it up using weapon repair kits, but don't worry about that. But the main crux of this is I want to see if I can make this work with criticals. Now, in terms of this thing's critical multiplier, where you have 5 for, like a 5 times multiplier for the Rat Slayer and I think it's a 2.5 times for Paciencia. This thing has a 0.02 damage crit multiplier. So whatever your chance is, you're gonna have 2% of whatever's left of that, which is basically nothing. It's not a weapon that you can rely on to get crits, but we have a few perks up our sleeves. Hang on, we're wearing Ulysses Duster. In the jacket, we've got some hidden jacket pockets in the duster or something, but what they do is not add to our base crit chance, they add a little bit on top. And the first one is going to be, I think it's Travel Light. That gives us plus 5% to our crit. Oh, no, it's Light Touch. That's the one. So, yeah, Light Touch. Travel Light, I think, is when you move faster in light armor. Helpful, but not relevant to damage. And then we've also got one more perk called Laser Commander, which I don't have now. Let me just grab that. Okay, so there you go. That's an extra 15% damage on the Gatling laser, which we'll check out in a second. But more importantly, a flat plus 10% chance to critical. Add that and Light Touch together, that's 15%. And when you fire as fast as, say, this, 15% chance of a critical, you're going to be rolling them fairly regularly. Now, whether I want to test this weapon with the thing that increases the fire rate, the level 50 perk, which requires bad karma. The name escapes me now. I'll try that a little bit later, but for now we're going to be maxing out criticals on this thing. And with that extra little bit of damage, thanks to Laser Commander, 24 per projectile and 723 DPS. Perfect. Good damage. New Vegas, let you be strong. Also, we could think about utilizing Implant GRX, or perhaps Rushing Water to increase our attack speed even further, but you know what, I don't even need them. We don't need them, and my Gatling laser's going away again. Just don't sprint and the Gatling laser won't disappear. I've got no idea why it's doing that, but we'll just take a nice little stroll. Come at me, Deathclaws. Now keep in mind, I am playing on big boy very hard difficulty, so it looks like the claims that I made about killing a Deathclaw in a second, well, when you've got a big old damage penalty like this, you're not gonna see that much. But it looks like we're averaging 14 damage on a little baby Deathclaw, just a young one, and 11 damage on the bigger ones. So it looks like the damage threshold comments check out. Only problem is using using the max charge cells like this kind of flogs the thing, and now we've got to get a quick repair kit under this, which is fine because if you've got a lot of weapons that use repair kits rapidly, like the layer, if you've got dead money, that's no problem because you can just make them with the complimentary vouchers. And as a reminder, every one of the red numbers that you see, they're the ones that are rolling criticals, which I feel like I might be getting more than what we're seeing, but probably not. But they might be being obscured by the white numbers that are popping up. I do want to see what this is like just on normal difficulty for a second, but no, we'll keep the very hard train rolling, and we'll just remember to... I might have to reboot the game after this because I keep losing my Gatling laser. Alrighto. Here's the big boy. Get a nice stagger on you. A swing and a miss. That's good enough. Now we can just quickly backpedal. I see Deathclaw Mummy, and now we're running out of rounds. That's fine, don't worry about it. Now we even gained Lord Death out of that. Lawn Death. Yeah, we destroyed the lawn. I think with a mere 6 electron charge packs, we have destroyed what is the Deathclaw population here. Yeah, okay, well that was convenient. Also, back in Fallout 3 New Vegas days, you used to get these cool backpacks when you use these things. They don't connect to the weapon in any way, but think of it as like a power pack. It's kind of blocking the aesthetic of the old world flag on Abigail's back, but what can you do, eh? Alright, so now we're inside Deadwind Cavern, and I've made a little bit of a change to the perk loadout here. So instead of utilizing Just Lucky I'm Alive to get that extra slight bonus of critical hit damage should we land a critical hit, I've put in Ain't Like That now, which is just the bad karma version. You get 25% faster AP regeneration, and your attack speed is increased by 20%, and thus this Gatling laser is now pushing 740 DPS, which will probably be noticed right away because it's a Gatling laser. And it is nice that the game has decided to let us know exactly how powerful we've made this thing. I don't think the criticals were doing that much with this thing anyway. Like 50% of the time, you're not going to land them. You'll be landing them not enough to really see a difference. So in terms of making the Gatling laser the most powerful you can, definitely Ain't Like That now. Any other sort of high rate of fire weapon that specializes in a whole lot of DPS like this, I think that's the choice for. That's a Deathclaw Mummy. Stagger, please. Thank you. I think we just got 4 crits in a row there on that Deathclaw Mother's head, which landed us about 27 damage. I'm getting 30 damage. For some reason, I'm seeing a lot more criticals. Weird. Although it's probably because I took the crit bonus perk off. It's saying, now I'm going to give you all the criticals when you need them, or when you don't need them as much. The DPS has this covered, and I don't think I should be worried about... Take out the big one first. Big one will go down. How much have I got left? Not quite enough to finish the job, but luckily for me, Abigail, she's a tough gal. She can take a couple of Deathclaw punches before she drops. And yeah, that's it for the Deathclaws here. And yeah, Gatling lasers, they were good. It's a shame that they're not as good anymore, but obviously, in terms of balancing an online game, we've just gotten rid of legacies. If they made Gatling lasers this godly, then wow, it'd just be Gatling Laser City every time Scorched Earth drops. And honestly, you can just get buffs for the Gatling laser through mods for Fallout 4 if you feel it's necessary, or you could find ports or recreations of this very weapon in Fallout 4 and just mess around in the GEC. Sorry, the creation kit. It was referred to as the GEC in Fallout 3 in New Vegas generation, but you could easily make this thing do about as much as it does here. Also, I do like that it's got the gluey bits on it. I do appreciate that quite a lot. Looks nice. Now, for a true DPS test, enter the giant Robo Scorpion. A little bit tougher than your standard Death Claws. We're getting through it, though. Slowly. Just gotta make sure we don't get caught in these energy blasts. Maybe we should go for the tail. We're gonna go for the tail. The criticals are doing... I'm seeing 18 damage, maybe? That's quite a lot for a critical, considering we're only getting 3 to 2. That might be bypassing all of that damage threshold. Also, is that a fiend attacking it with a... It's attacking the giant Robo Scorpion with a pull cue, and he survived. Even the explosion.
You like the sight of your own blood?
No, actually. By no means am I squeamish, but I don't like bleeding. Okay, that was good, but I think it's time to use chems. Burb. 1 dose of turbo and rushing water chases that down. Let me just switch over to the max charge. And now we can begin. Wow. This in real time would be nuts. I don't think the sound of this thing firing is fast enough to keep up with it. And there's the pull cue man again. He's asking a robot whether he lacks the side of his own blood, which last time I checked, robots didn't have blood, but nice little dramatic jump across the thing there. Now
you thought you could hide from me?
Just sit down. Stop it. Alright, so despite it being a pretty meaty target, or rather the opposite of meaty, giant metal plates protecting itself, the Gatling laser, it got through it pretty well. Obviously, there's weapons that might kill it a little bit faster. Paciencia could probably do it, provided you got crits all the time, but, you know, you can't argue with that kind of DPS there. Just full-on frontal assault on the thing, and I'm able to just dodge its attacks and weave around its bullshittery and kill it in a straight-up 1v1 slugging match. Not a lot of weapons would let you do that, and I just love the Gatling laser in this game. I wish they'd be like this in other Fallout installments, but alas, it's not the case. But looking back, I think we can all agree that these Gatling lasers kicked ass, and we want to see them back in their true glory, perhaps in a later Fallout installment, or if they've got some reasonable facsimile of a Gatling laser in Starfield. Let's see some power in our heavy weapons these days. I'm not into this shoot lots of bullets, do little bits of damage nonsense. Alright. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Get Gatling lasers. There's no rotary barrel either. It fires from all 3 barrels alternatingly. It's so cool.